Hello and welcome to our July garden tour. We're the Georgia gardeners. We garden in the Metro Atlanta area. We're zone 7B, 8A. We're in an HOA. You can see there are Super Tunia Bordeaux is kind of giving into the heat. Today we have a coffee cup elephant ear in a pot. We just cut back. Over here on the corner of the bed as we come around the fire hydrant, we have some Gumfrina and zinnias we planted. Right now, we're probably about 2 weeks peak season for the hydrangeas. They still look beautiful, but they were really glowing a couple weeks ago. You can see they're starting to just turn brown a little bit. They start out a brilliant white, and then they turn a limey green, and then they start turning brown. So this one's in the full sun, so it's the furthest along. The Super Tunia Vista bubblegum is hanging in there and looking pretty good still. Here we have a Holy Grail hardy hibiscus that's spent all its blooms. It was peak probably about 2 weeks ago, covered in blooms, the large dinner plate sized blooms. Here are some more lime lights. You can see they're a little shaded, or they get some afternoon shade, so they're not quite as far along, still in that limey green stage. On the other side of those, we have an elephant ear that we bought last year, planted. It was probably in a quart-sized pot. And now you can see how large it's gotten. It's much taller than me, which means it's well over 5 feet 5 inches. Now, here we have a type of Mexican petunia that I'll talk more about here in a second. Here we have another Holy Grail that still has some blooms, not full blooms, but you can see it's covering up, and that and the impatiens are covering up that little DIY fountain I've created. That's the front flower bed. So as I said, we're in the middle of July, or as you're aware, we're in the middle of July, and here in Georgia it gets very hot and very humid this time of the year. And so a lot of the plants and flowers are starting to give into the heat. But it's the time of the year that we try to keep things as pretty as possible. Our front flower bed is not on irrigation, so it's a matter of doing a lot of hand watering and trying to keep things looking as good as we can for as long as possible. But as we move into August, you'll see things really begin to start to fade. Here we're back at the staging area. As you can see, we've gotten rid of a few things, so I guess that would be improvement. It still has quite a few things that are waiting to be planted or removed. But coming down to the side bed, you can see on your left there's some Mexican petunia right there. That's the traditional Mexican petunia. You can see the purple flowers. It's very aggressive, it spreads rapidly. But compared to this other Mexican petunia I mentioned earlier, this one you can see has the same foliage and similar delicate petunia-like flowers, but they're pink, and you can see it has a more compact growth habit. Keeps low to the ground. Very hardy, very drought tolerant, low maintenance. It's a great plant, and it's not vigorous like the traditional Mexican petunia that can take over an area. This one pretty much stays where you put it. Haven't had any issues. I do think it's grown thick enough where we could probably split it if we wanted to next year maybe. But so far I've been very pleased. This has been a great plant. Coming back over to the side, we have the side flower bed. There you can see some more of the lime lights. We've got a lot of rain recently, so you can see they're getting a little heavy. Starting to flop a little bit, but not as bad as last year. My wife pruned them, and they seem to be sturdier this year, but there still are a few blooms are flopping. But you can see how big these blooms are. They're massive, and when they get filled up with rainwater, they sag. Coming down the side bed, you see more of this one's even floppier probably. There you see a pomegranate tree that has not produced this year, but I'll show you some other trees that did produce. Then we have a fig tree that had some figs on it, but I think the birds got to enjoy the figs before we had a chance to enjoy them. Then continuing to the backyard. This is one of my favorite vistas in the yard. You see, this is our veggie garden area. Excuse me. We have some raised beds, and as you'll see, the veggie garden is right on the edge of the tree line, so it gets some sun, but probably not enough sun to be super productive. But it's enough for us to grow a few things and to get some produce. As I mentioned in an earlier video, because we don't have a lot of land or sun here, we have some satellite gardens that we've created at some of our relatives' houses. But we have enough sun here just to have some fun with growing some things, and we get to enjoy some of the fruits of our labors. You can see on the arch we have some tomatoes, cucumbers. I'll do a separate video where I go into detail about the different vegetables and fruits that we grow. But this is the arch. Last year it was covered in cucumbers. This year we've had more success with the tomatoes. But looking up, you can see the tree line, and we're right at the tree line. So things in the front of the veggie beds do okay. Then as you move to the back, it gets shadier and they struggle a little bit more. There, you probably can't see very well, but this is tomatillo plant, and that tomatillo is probably a good 8 feet tall. It has tons and tons of tomatillos on it. Down here we have eggplants. It's the first time trying eggplant. So far we've had some success with this plant and some other plants that are producing. Coming back, you see a fig tree there, and a butterfly bush. Trying to attract the pollinators, and right on cue, you see a little butterfly. And then this little back bed is kind of our compost area, but looking back through the arch, you can kind of see the view going back to toward the front. Here we have an Alice tomato. Excuse me, actually that's a Zapotec tomato that we grew. Over here we have some fruit trees, and looking toward the back you see the woodland garden. This is a full shady area where we have some different shade plants including hostas and ferns. We have Japanese maple there, that's a Sengo kaku. Coming back around, you see some more hostas. We have a Great Expectations hosta. Autumn fern. Then coming back to this side, we have palladiums, which is one of the few plants that will give us color in the shade garden. So here on the back fence, in the shade garden, the woodland garden, we have a row of hydrangeas. We call it hydrangea lane. We need to work on the path for it. We're not sure what we're going to put in, maybe stones or flagstone or some other kind of path that we're going to create. We have a lever plant. It's also called a tractor seat tire plant, or not tire, but tractor seat plant. As you can see, they kind of look like tractor seats. Coming along here are the hydrangeas. We recently planted these podocarpus here. They seem to be doing well. There's a random elephant ear in the middle. Some more hydrangeas. Here on the end we have a Mexican petunia. Excuse me, not a Mexican petunia, but a Mexican sunflower. Alright, then coming back up the shade garden toward the berry patch, you see we got some lamb's ears, a few other hydrangeas that have already bloomed. Excuse the shadow, I'm still figuring this out. So coming this way, you see the berry patch. We have mulberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, lots of different kind of berries. Not a ton of production yet, but it's getting better. It's enough for us to have fun with the grandkids coming out to pick a few berries and eat them. You see the raspberries are really doing well. I have a lot of berries that are setting, hopefully. Hopefully we can get to enjoy some of them before the birds enjoy them. Here we have what's called a yellow pear tomato plant. I'll talk about it in more detail in another video. It's a very nostalgic plant for me because my grandma used to grow these, and I remember going to pick them and eating them in the garden. So coming back to the veggie beds, the front of the veggie beds. Like I said, I'll do a separate video and go into a little more detail, but we have some right there, Cherokee purple tomatoes, peppers. We got some, I believe they're cayenne peppers or Thai peppers. And we got over here some cucumbers that are struggling, but maybe it's a little too hot right now. Maybe they'll start producing a little more, or I do have a succession planting ready to go. But last year we had so many cucumbers we couldn't give them away or eat them all. This year it's not the case. So Mother Nature has a way of humbling you. Once you think you're good at something, it can show you otherwise. Once again, here we have a Mexican sunflower. It's interesting, this one's about 3 feet tall maybe, but I have some that are 10, 12 feet tall as well. It's interesting how they grow, I guess based upon the conditions, soil and sunlight. Here is still a future project. Transitioning over, here's another eggplant that's got a lot of fruit setting on it. This is the backside of the berry patch. Raspberries doing really well. Hopefully next year they cover the arch. Right here we have some 4 o'clocks, which we'll talk about a lot more in another video, but something that we got from our mother-in-law, and they grow really well and they're very beautiful from about 4 o'clock on. Here's another area under the deck where we have some propagations of some leaf hydrangeas and some other things happening. This is another area that we need to work on and fix the flower bed by the air conditioning unit. This is one of the flower beds in the backyard that's a lot of shade that we're still working on. All right, then as we transition around to the other side, we have the basement driveway where we have a lot of pots. Here we have a clematis that is giving us a little second round of blooms. We had a big flush of blooms earlier in the spring, and it's starting to give us some more. Here we have a Japanese maple in a pot. I believe this is a coral bark maple with some sweet potato vines underplanted with some impatiens. Here we have another clematis that's blooming as well. Coming around, we have some guava trees that are trying to hide the trash can. Here we have some more limelights in pots underplanted with sweet potato vines. And then coming up around the side bed, we have the sidewalk bed. We also call it the bend because the sidewalk bends toward the front of the house. The other reason why it can be called the bend is all the flowers are bending toward the sun. So that's something we've got to figure out. But here in front we planted some gomphrena. You can see a Colorado blue spruce we planted there in the background. We have a assortment of flowers, including some dahlias. Coming up here we have the lantana that I just cut back and I need to clean up. You can see it's kind of messy, but that lantana has been there probably over 10 years and is very hardy. It takes over the sidewalk. Right now we're coming back to the front of the house again, back to the staging area. You can see some more limelights, the Thunbergia that I planted from seed. And there we have some pomegranate trees. Again, I'll go into more detail with our fruit and vegetables in a future video, but you can see this year the tree held on to 3 pomegranates or 3 fruits, which is 3 times as many as last year. We only got 1, so we tripled our production. So if we can keep doing that, we'll be happy. So again, thanks for watching. Hope we'll see you in the next video.